Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.
Well, they're here.
Yeah, you seem so far away. But if you could see the scene now, I'll implore my good wife to show you some of the scenery, but it's highly likely that you won't get it. Sorry. But
my internet is not good here. It is a madhouse just to upload what I do.
yeah, but it's beautiful. We are now down, if you remember, we were up on a hill looking down. We're now down beside the Shenandoah River, and we're literally right down in the river on a rock that juts out into it, but we're literally, you can't see behind us, but on this side the river is going around us a little bit. So beautiful, beautiful. The only unfortunate thing is you can hear the traffic on this main road. It's the only road between the 3 states that I mentioned earlier. But here we are. Anyway, we're reading the Bhagavatam.
Yes.
And
yeah, we're in Harper's Ferry, by the way.
Yeah.
We're in Harper's Ferry. It's a very historic place. Very.
You can look it up.
Alright, Canto 3, Chapter 27, Text 9. Chapters entitled Understanding Material Nature. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya.
Yeah, by the way, it's only about, what time is it, 9:30? 9:30 in the morning.
It's basically the same temperature as the UK had earlier this week when everyone was like getting crazy.
Yeah.
I'm not joking, and it's 9:30 a.m.
a.m. yeah.
And on the weekend it's me 110
Fahrenheit.
I'll just die.
And we've just actually finished maybe half an hour, well, an hour ago, a 5K run.
Yeah, we ran like you do. Englishmen and mad dogs.
Down the scene.
We just ran a 5K. Hence you're dressed the way we are as well.
So, reading the Bhagavatam.
Alright. Text 9. One's seeing power should be increased through knowledge of spirit and matter, and one should not unnecessarily identify himself with the body and thus become attracted by bodily relationships. The conditioned souls are eager to identify with the body and consider that the body is myself, and that anything in relationship with the body or possessions of the body is mine. In Sanskrit, this is called aham mamata, and it is a root cause of all conditional life. A person should see things as the combination of matter and spirit. He should distinguish between the nature of matter and the nature of spirit, and his real identification should be with spirit, not with matter. By this knowledge, one should avoid the false bodily concept of life.
Hammameti. I mean, that's from the Bhagavad Gita. So, yeah. Any thoughts?
Yeah, I'm saying that in a verse that says one's seeing power should be increased through knowledge of spirit and matter. So, you know, like just sitting here now, it's just so beautiful, the scenery, and even coming to this, because as we said, we're in Harper's Ferry. It's very historical. They preserved the town as it was back many 200-300 years ago. The point is, you can get very distracted by the curtain of illusion, so that's why we have to regularly be reading and hearing and reminding ourselves, hang on a minute, who am I, why am I here? Because it's very easy to just like get clicked back into something, you know, that you're trying to get out of.
Yeah, and the rivers are the veins in the universal form, the mountains are the bones. And, you know, we've been reading all about the elements, as Kapila Dev is explaining, about where water comes from, about where air comes from, about where earth comes from. So in this way, the point is that we're meant to be able to start to see the Lord everywhere in everything. Many times Srila Prabhupada would deride, you know, and kind of, the attachment to the material energy. But on occasion, Srila Prabhupada would be, staring at a beautiful sunrise or over the ocean and just say, isn't it marvelous, the creation of the Lord? So like that, then we can, we just have to be in the right consciousness. But
yeah.
Hare Krishna. Text 10. One should be situated in the transcendental position beyond the stages of material consciousness and should be aloof from all other conceptions of life. Thus, realizing freedom from false ego, one should see his own self just as he sees the sun in the sky. Purport. Consciousness acts in 3 stages under the material conception of life. When we are awake, consciousness acts in a particular way. When we are asleep, it acts in a different way. And when we are in deep sleep, consciousness acts in still another way. To become Krishna conscious, one has to become transcendental to these 3 stages of consciousness. Our present consciousness should be freed from all perceptions of life other than consciousness of Krishna, the Supreme Personality of Godhead. This is called Duri Bhutanya Darshanaha, which means that when one attains perfect Krishna consciousness, he does not see anything but Krishna. In the Chaitanya Charitamrita, it is said that the perfect devotee may see many movable and immovable objects, but in everything he sees the energy of Krishna is acting. As soon as he remembers the energy of Krishna, he immediately remembers Krishna in his personal form. Therefore, in all his observations, he sees Krishna only. Amazing, huh? I was just saying that. In the Brahma Samhita 538, it is stated that when one's eyes are smeared with the love of Krishna, Premanjana Charita, he always sees Krishna outside and inside. This is confirmed here. One should be freed from all other vision, and in that way he is freed from the false egoistic identification and sees himself as the eternal servitor of the Lord. Chakshu Sevarkam. As we can see the sun without a doubt, one who is fully developed in Krishna consciousness sees Krishna and his energy. By this vision, one becomes Atmadrik, or self-realized. When the false ego of identifying the body with the self is removed, actual vision of life is perceivable. When the false ego of identifying the body with the self is removed, actual vision of life is perceivable. The senses therefore also become purified. Real service of the Lord begins when the senses are purified. One does not have to stop the activities of the senses, but this false ego of identifying with the body has to be removed. Very noisy because these trucks are driving on the making so much noise. Spoiling the whole atmosphere. Then the senses automatically become purified, and with purified senses, one can actually discharge devotional service. Sarvo Padi Vanir Muktam Tat Paratwaina Nirmalam Rishikani Rishikation Savanam Bhakti Uchite. This is the verse Sarvo Padi, all upadis, all material designations. Sarvo Padi Navir Muktam, they're finished. Like that. So then basically all of these bodily designations have to go Rishikani Rishikation Savanam Bhakti Uchite. Then with purified senses, Rishikesh, Krishna, he's the controller of the senses. With him in control of our senses, we can perform devotional service like that. Any thoughts? Apart from the fact that it's really hot out here.
I'm alright.
Okay.
No, I was just saying it's important to always somehow see Krishna, like it says here, everywhere. It's a good sort of test because to see, like, it's a good test when we're in a situations, I don't know, on holiday or whatever.
You see those 3 ducks?
Yes, Ted. He's talking about ducks now. But to see how much we remember Krishna, sometimes it's like, I'm on holiday, so 2 weeks I'm not a devotee. I don't need to do this. I think it's very important, without sounding like a fanatic. But I think it's Yeah, it's very important to somehow always plug into the spiritual energy. So yeah, it means you chant your rounds, you know, it means we're going to follow the diet that we follow. We don't all of a sudden say I'm on holiday, so it's alright to eat onions and garlic, isn't it? It's alright to do that. No, I'm just saying.
Oh my Lord.
Reading.
There she goes.
No, I'm saying maintain where we're at. There you go. Everyone's cool. Everyone's where they're at. So if you're at a certain stage, maintain where you're at. Alright, I'll be quiet now.
Okay, we're going to move past maintaining where we're at and move on to text 11.
A liberated soul realizes the absolute personality of Godhead, who is transcendental and who is manifest as a reflection even in the false ego. He is the support of the material cause, and he enters into everything. He is absolute, one without a second, and he is the eyes of the illusory energy. Purport. A pure devotee can see the presence of the Supreme Personality of Godhead in everything materially manifested. He is present there only as a reflection. But a pure devotee can realize that in the darkness of material illusion, the only light is the Supreme Lord, who is its support. It is confirmed in Bhagavad Gita that the background of the material manifestation is Lord Krishna. And as confirmed in the Brahma Samhita, Krishna is the cause of all causes.
Sarvakarna Karna.
But it didn't say that, so...
No, I said it.
And as in the Brahma Samhita, it is stated that Supreme Lord, by his plenary or partial expansion, is present not only within this universe, and each and every universe, but in every atom, although he is one without a second. The word advayam, without a second, which is used in this verse, indicates that although the Supreme Personality of Godhead is represented in everything, including the atoms, he is not divided. His presence in everything is explained in the next verse.
Should we read the next verse?
Yes, please.
Text 12. The presence of the Supreme Lord can be realized just as the sun is realized first as a reflection on water, and again as a second reflection on the wall of a room, although the sun itself is situated in the sky. Nice analogy. So, again, that basically is saying that we look here and we see, wow, this is amazing. Look at Krishna's energy. This is incredible. Krishna's energy is so powerful. And we see Krishna, we see Krishna's energy. And
people.
And we see people coming. And it's okay.
All right,
purport. Well, they do. We'll chase them. and we'll see Krishna's hand in it as we get the camera back. The example given herewith is perfect. The sun is situated in the sky far, far away from the surface of the earth, but its reflection can be seen in a pot of water in the corner of a room. The room is dark and the sun is far away in the sky, but the sun's reflection on the water illuminates the darkness of the room. A pure devotee can realize the presence of the Supreme Personality of Godhead in everything by the reflection of his energy. In the Vishnu Purana it is stated that as the presence of fire is understood by heat and light, so the Supreme Personality of Godhead, although one without a second, is perceived everywhere by the diffusion of his different energies. There you go. It is confirmed in the Ishopanishad that the presence of the Lord is perceived everywhere by the liberated soul, just as the sunshine and the reflection can be perceived everywhere, although the sun is situated far away from the surface of the globe. Powerful, huh?
Yeah, so to the degree that we're like, say, Krishna conscious, we can see Krishna in all situations, and I don't mean like just here, like I'm using this example, but in times of trouble or stress. So it's like a nice test, I guess, how, what sort, that saying, what sort of Vaishnava are you? Like, because it's easy to think of Krishna when you're in the temple or just in, where he's in your face, as it were. And maybe sometimes even in the temple you don't see him really. To be fair, it's true. But yeah, it's a nice test that we can apply where you think, yeah, how much Krishna's hand am I seeing in situations in life, and then when you see it, it turns everything up on its head, upside down, because you see the situation differently. What is it you're trying to get me to learn here, Krishna? Why have you brought me here? Why have you brought me to this situation, to these people? It says here that a liberated soul perceives the Lord everywhere. And it doesn't mean, okay, well, I'm not liberated, I'm not a pure devotee. In one sense, we are all pure devotees, as Prabhupada says. We just need to,
pure devotees in practice.
Some of us just forgotten that.
Green mangoes.
We're all pure servants of the Lord.
Well,
yeah, so
Jiva Swarupoy Krishna and Dasa. Originally, we're all.
Yeah, I mean originally. So we just need to work on uncovering that. And also, if we continue working on uncovering that, we'll actually find we don't bother with trying to uncover anyone else. What's he doing? What's she doing? What they doing? Because we're so busy working on ourselves, That's it, really.
Well, there you go, and there you have it, the sum and substance.
Yes.
As the Bhava Samhita. Okay, next paragraph is kind of a little long, but we can read. I think we've been reading for about close to 15 minutes now. Do you want to do one more or call it a day?
Up to you. Are you burning?
No, I'm okay.
All right.
One more then?
Let's go one more then.
Okay. The self-realized soul is thus reflected first in the threefold ego, and then in the body, and the senses, and the mind. Purport. The conditioned soul thinks, I am this body. But a liberated soul thinks, I am not this body, I am spirit soul. This I am is called ego, or identification of the self. I am this body, or everything in relationship to the body is mine, is called false ego. But when one is self-realized and thinks that he is an eternal servitor of the Supreme Lord, that identification is real ego. One conception is in the darkness of the threefold qualities of material nature, goodness, passion, and ignorance, and the other is in the pure state of goodness called Shuddha Sattva, or Vasudev. When we say that we give up our ego, this means that we give up our false ego, but real ego is always present. When one is reflected through the material contamination of the body and mind and false identification, he is in the conditional state. But when he is reflected in the pure stage, he is called liberated. The identification of oneself with one's material possessions in the conditional stage must be purified, and one must identify himself in relationship with the Supreme Lord. In the conditioned state, one accepts everything as an object of sense gratification, and in the liberated state, one accepts everything for the service of the Supreme Lord. Krishna consciousness, devotional service, is the actual liberated stage of a living entity. Otherwise, both accepting and rejecting on the material platform, or in voidness or impersonalism, are imperfect conditions for the pure soul. Wow, Prabhupada really puts it all in there, huh? So I think the essence of that for me is that there's always identity. We never escape identity. We always have an identity. We have some sort of I am. That's id, identity, or ego. But the false identity is that I'm this body and everything connected with this body is mine. That's false, because it's just not true, because we're not this body. And therefore anything that's connected to this body also isn't mine. Everything here is Krishna's. And as soon as we begin to understand that everything here is Krishna's, everything here belongs to Krishna, and everything is Krishna's energy, then we start to enter into the real identity, which is a spirit soul, Jiva Swarupoy Krishna and Dasa.
Very nice. By the understanding of the pure soul called Satyadrik, one can see everything as a reflection of the Supreme Personality of Godhead. A concrete example can be given in this connection. A conditioned soul sees a very beautiful rose, and he thinks that the nice aromatic flower should be used for its own sense gratification. This is one kind of vision. A liberated soul, however, sees the same flower as a reflection of the Supreme Lord. He thinks this... Sorry. Something in my mouth. Like it weren't a bug. Alright, hold on. He thinks this beautiful flower is made possible by the superior energy of the Supreme Lord. Therefore, it belongs to the Supreme Lord and should be utilized in his service. These are two kinds of vision. The conditioned soul sees the flower for his own enjoyment, and the devotee sees the flower as an object to be used in the service of the Lord. In the same way, one can see the reflection of the Supreme Lord in one's own senses, mind and body, in everything. With that correct vision, one can engage everything in the service of the Lord. It is stated in the Bhaktivedanta Sindhu that one who has engaged everything, his vital energy, his wealth, his intelligence and his words in the service of the Lord, or who desires to engage all these in the service of the Lord, no matter how he is situated, is to be considered a liberated soul, or Satyadrik. Such a man has understood things as they are. Yes, realization, understanding of Krishna consciousness, that you can be who you are in what situation you're in and be a devotee. It's not you have to be in a certain box, certain institutionalized way. You can chant Hare Krishna sitting on this rock in the... Is this the Potomac or the Shenandoah? Oh, is this the Shenandoah? No, you can sit on a river and chant Hare Krishna. Or you can be in the Holy Dham in India, or downtown temple in LA or whatever. The point, as Krishna always says, is we add Krishna. And he'll do the rest. You just need to add Krishna. When you add Krishna, he purifies what needs to be purified anyway. And he detaches from what needs to be detached, you know? So, yeah, it's just a matter of, it's quite a simple process. And it's just attributing everything to Krishna. So even this beautiful natural landscape that we're seeing, really, I mean, first of all, how beautiful must it be in the spiritual world if this is just Harper's Ferry in like mainland Maryland, you know?
Yeah.
Like, please. That's one thing. But then the other thing is how wonderful Krishna is that these things are existing and were created.
I agree 100%.
All right. My little friend next to me.
Whom you can barely see. Thank you very much, everyone. Please read the Srimad Bhagavatam. Remember, if you would like a set of Srimad Bhagavatams, please do let us know. The Bhadra Purnima is coming up. We're in America now. We could distribute some sets here from America. If anyone is into it or wants to sponsor some, let us know. And we'll happily engage in your service, in the service of the Lord. Hare Krishna, Granthara Srimad Bhagavatam Ki Jai, Srila Prabhupada Ki Jai. Stay tuned. After this, I'm going to give you a panoramic view.
Hare Krishna.
It's all Krishna's energy. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.